Hey guys, welcome to Bar Z. My name's Stan, and today we've got a viewer that sent in some V blocks. These are a Starrett number 568. Some V blocks. They're the step type that take the clamp. And the nice thing about these is you can put the clamp in there, and you still have a flat surface on the side to put it in a vise from all directions, and the clamp doesn't get in the way. These come to us from William L. I'm not going to use his last name, but he sent them into the show for a regrind. He contacted me and said he'd like to send these in, and these were an eBay purchase. And they've got a little corrosion, not a heck of a lot, you know, and they're in decent shape. They've been run around on the surface plate so many times and for so long they've actually developed a little bit of a polish from running around on the surface plate. There's a couple dings just on the sides, but measurable. You know, I cleaned them up, slid them around a little bit over on the lapping plate with some lapping film over there, just to get them flat enough to measure, so they're not. That one ding was causing one of them to rock. And you know, I measured them. They're within a tenth of each other in all dimensions. You know, but you know, we've done V blocks on the show before, but what I want to show you with this one, this is a very large V, and we're going to have a new way to grind this. Our conventional method, the one I've already showed you, is not going to work, and I'm going to show you a new way to grind a V block. Okay, but first thing we're going to do is get all the outer extremities ground. I'm not going to show you that. It's all just flat work, matching them. These are close enough that I don't have to do any kind of rough grinding or anything. I am going to come right out of the gate with a 120 grit J wheel, aluminum oxide. It's a white wheel, just super fine. We're not going to take any more than a couple of tenths off these things. But we're going to get all the outer extremities ground and cleaned, and we're going to lose, you know, we're going to lose some of the this pitting. Trying to hold it so the camera can see that. It's got a little bit of pitting, but gosh, you know, I run my indicator over that and down in the holes, and it's hardly even measurable. So there's not a whole lot there. So I'm going to go ahead and get all the flat work done, and then the meat of the sandwich for this show is the actual V and how we're going to grind a big V like this. And I'll bring a wheel over and show you why our other method doesn't work. All right, I'll bring you back after we get all the outer extremities ground. Okay, well, welcome back. We've got our outer extremities done on our V blocks, and that's the finish we got out of it. And these are all the outer extremities are ground. We had to get in pretty deep. There's a couple of really bad pits. That's the worst one, and I wasn't going to chase that one. But all the corrosion has been ground off. We ended up losing about 3 thousandths out of this block, so about 1.5 thou per side. The top was really corroded, and the bottom was really, looked like it had been sitting down in some water or something, and the bottom was really corroded on both of them. But my fingerprints off of it. We got a nice finish. And let me get my fingerprints off of this. And that's as ground, no polish, no beeswax, nothing like that. I didn't want anything to affect the measuring right out of the gate. And you guys are going to ask, what wheel did I use? This is a 150K. I always write the numbers down, because when you arbor them, you usually end up covering up the numbers. So take a felt pen and write down what the wheel is. This is a 150K. 150 grit K hardness aluminum oxide by Camel Grinding Wheels out of Israel. I think I got this at MSC. But this is the wheel I use to do all the outer extremities. When it comes to fine grinding, after you've made all your hard cuts with like a very coarse wheel that can hold a lot, you know, then move to your finer grinding wheels. Don't try to do any heavy cuts with this. They say that 2/10 is the maximum depth of cut with this wheel, and they're not kidding. You go any deeper than that, you're going to burn it. You're going to burn your work. You're going to see blue marks. You're going to see streaks. You're going to cup it. You're going to chatter it, you're going to do all kinds of stuff. So this is the wheel we're going to use to grind the V's. Now, if you guys remember, in the first video of grinding a V block, I showed you one way to do it, and I expressed that there was more than one way to do it. And this is the actual wheel we used for that project. I don't even remember who that was for. It was for somebody, but we ground a V block for somebody, and we dressed a wheel at an accurate 45. We plopped our blocks down flat, and then we came in here and made our grind. But you can see what our issue is here. Our wheel is not big enough to make it all in one swoop. So we have to do this a different way. And I thought this was a perfect example of the other way to grind our V grooves, keep it in the center, keep it concentric, keep it parallel. Remember, we've already done our outer extremities. If you look at the other video, we need to make sure we're all square and all our outer extremities are square and parallel with each other, because our V groove is going to follow that. Now we're going to use the 150K wheel, but now we're not going to dress it at a 45. We're going to take the part this time and tip it up at a 45 and get in there like this, and that way we can traverse our way out. We can move the machine back and forth. And so we need to tip these parts. And what we're going to use is we've got a little 6x6 sign plate here with a mag top, made by Suburban Tool. Now, I don't know, I guess it would help if I loosen the strap, huh? So we're going to build ourselves a gauge block stack. Always store them with a piece of paper in between the roll and the plating down there where you put your stuff. So we're gonna tip these up at a 45 like this and build a gauge block stack. Just tighten that down here real quick, and hoping you can see what I'm doing there. Yeah. And then that way we've got a fence here in the back. We got a fence for these V blocks to land on, and we come in here, we just do a flat grind, and then we flip, and again just a flat grind on the way out. So we're using that fence to index. We're using the law of averaging, grind, flip, and we're going to end up with that V groove dead center. Again, very similar to the way we did it before. This time we're just tipping the part on a little sign plate. That's all. All right, so let's get set up. I need to redress this wheel. I did all my flat work. She's a little dirty, not too bad, but these real fine wheels get clogged really easily. So before we start this stunt, we're going to give it a fresh dress and get ready to get in there and make our cut. All right, let's get over on the surface grinder. Okay, boys, well, we're set up here. We've got our 6x6 sign on here with the mag. We've trimmed the fence. We've tipped our plate. We've calculated our gauge block stack. We built a gauge block stack in here. We're magged down. Wheels dressed. We reinstalled our wheel. That was our 150. What was that? A 150K wheel. Now we've set our dials. As we traverse, we're going to work on this bottom right here. As we traverse in, I don't want to run into this sidewall, and that's why we've got a relief in the center of this here. And I've set my dial to 0 right here. So as I traverse across, I've still got clearance. It ain't much, but there's clearance in there. So we're just gonna come down and touch off. When I see sparks and when I hear a little bit of activity, we're going to start the coolant and traverse out. So, and I'm going to make note of my down feed from there. I'm going to set 0. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. So as soon as we touch off, I'm going to pause, set my down feed dial to 0, and work our way out. That way we can pull out and flip our parts and start over. Because we're going to be able to pull the part all the way out to here to access it. And this is all grind in here. And over on the other side is a dust collector and all that. So let's grind it. First little inkling of sparks there. I'm going to call that a 0. And dial set, 0, 0. And I'm ready to start working my way out. See what kind of contact we got there. Boy, it wasn't much. Okay. We'll give her a... I'm using that 0 as a baseline. I'm going to bring it down about, only about 2/10. Not very much. Alright, cool going. And work our way out. Okay, well we've got full contact all the way out. There's still some grooves and stuff in there. I'll shine a light on it. I can bring you guys up a little bit. Kind of look down at that. You can see the grind all the way out, and we were just kissing it on the way out. But there's still some longitudinal grooves and stuff in there. So we're actually gonna chase those with about another 2/10 of down feed. So here we go. Do our down feed and work our way out. Alright, we're getting close to a full clean. I still see a couple more grooves. You can really tell the difference between the grind and the wear, the longitudinal wear from it being used over the years. Still needs a little bit more, so we're going to go for just a tad more, maybe another couple tenths. By the time we're done with it, we're going to be into it for almost 1,000th. So let's work our way back in. still got grooves. It's not much. I'm gonna go ahead and chase them. I'm not even into it for 1/1000th of an inch yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and chase them. You know, if I have to pull a couple thou out, I don't care. That's all right. Okay, I'm gonna go for just a tad more. Okay, well that gave us a full clean. Wipe that out and I'll show you guys real quick. And as long as the other side cleans up, when we get to this same depth on the wheel, we don't have to come back here. But if we have to go a little farther on this other side, we'll have to come back to this side and make them equal and make them match. All right, but I'm gonna let you look down at this base is the one we're doing. There goes Mr. Air Compressor. All right, so me on mag, we're gonna pull them, wash them in the sink, clean the plate, flip, and get ready to do the other side. Okay, well we're back, we're flipped, we're clean. Had an issue with my gauge blocks and I ended up putting springs in here. If it's a pretty good trick. If you're having trouble with your sign plate with a spring back issue, where your gauge block stack gets a little loose, springs and rubber bands work pretty good to just put a little bit of load on them. These aren't real heavy springs, but it just keeps your pressure down on your gauge blocks. We're ready to touch off again. We're zeroed on our dial. We're ready, and we're clearanced on this backside. We've got our clearance down on our cross feed dial there, so we're ready to touch off and work our way out again. I'm just touching, and I'm right at zero right now. All right, keep going. My camera is, okay, my camera's rolling. Here we go. Okay, we're getting real close. That was just one pass. We're way under the other side, so we got to go minimum the same distance we did on the other one to get a full clean. So let's get back at it. got 2/10 to go. Alright, once again, I'll let you guys peek at that. Let me get the coolant off of there. And there's your grind. What I can do with the light, shine it away maybe, there. Okay. Alright, well, we've gone down to depth with the down feed, the same as we did on this other side. The only thing that changed was me adding these springs, so it'll be interesting to see if that changed the dimension or anything. We'll go measure it, and if it's too far off, we'll come back and we'll stay set up, and we'll come back and do a regrind. All right. Probably been easier to pull them out to show you the grind, huh? Okay. I'll bring it back. We're going to go clean these and then head over to the plate. Okay, well, we went over to the plate and we found that we do need to make a correction. When you put the V-block and a rod in there, and you check height on the rod, sweep it, find the high spot, and you take the block and the rod and you flip it, it should be equal by equal. You know, top, bottom. So, and it wasn't. It was off a good 8/10, almost a full thousandth of an inch. And the side where my gauge block slipped and the plate actually tipped away. If you look at the access point, it's way over here, and we're grinding behind the access point, so it's low. It ended up making the block high. And so we're going to regrind that, and we've got our mark, and we're going to take it down to that, and hopefully that'll make this correction. So let's grind this thing. I'm just going to put myself a little felt pen mark out here so I can see where it's been ground and where it hasn't. All right. Okay, we're down to our mark. And our grind looks good. So we're going to go check it out again. All right, so let's let me go measure it, and if I think we got a winner, I'll bring it over to the plate and we'll check it out. If not, we'll come back to the grinder. Okay, well, I thought I'd bring you along for these final checks. First thing we're going to do is just check for height, and we're going to check them for equality between the two, and we're going to check them at this end and this end, make sure that the V-groove isn't tipped one way or the other. So we're going to come in here. This is off my planer gauge. It's a hardening ground. Little dowel there. Let me get this thing up on 0 here. I'm looking around the camera. From my angle, my read is 0. I don't know what you guys are seeing. I got to kind of look around the camera, and I'm looking at the gauge at an angle. You guys got a better view than I do. All right, I'm calling that 0. Gonna flip, and you're within a tenth, so we're doing good. All right, so we're pretty happy there. The next check is going to be, do we have the V-groove centered? So we're going to take the block and flip it on its side like this, and we're going to take this rod and just stick it out slightly out the side right here. And I need to set up, well, I got to fuss around. Let me set up the gauge. I'll bring you back for that. All right, I think I got you guys back where you were so you can see. Now we got the block flipped on its side. Got our dowel in here, and what we're going to do is the flip trick. We're going to come here. We're going to look at our number here. I've dialed that in as close to 0 as I could with my third hand. We're going to come over to this side, roll it in. All right, and we're about a tenth above on that one. Now we flip the block, same dowel. Going to come back in here. Just a shade below 0, not even a tenth. And then we're going to come over here. And same as that other one, just a shade above 10 or 0. Not even a tenth. So I'm calling this groove very, very centered. Our height is good. The rod's in there. Our height is good. We've checked both of them, you know, for height, center by center. These things are ready to put a coat of oil on and wrap up and send them on down the road. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed that alternative method to grinding a V-block and grinding a V-groove and getting it centered up. All right, thanks for watching.